Can love is all that I can give to you. Love is more than just a game for two. Two in love can make it. Take my heart and please don't break it. Love was made for me and you.
Hey, welcome to WBGR Sports Network and the Tom the Bomb Sports Talk Show. And this is the day that the Lord has made. We will rejoice and be glad in it. If you don't think it's a great day, just try missing one. And we, L-O-V-E, love sports. On the Tom the Bomb Show, I'm your host, Tommy Wood. Got another fantastic show for you today, gang. As usual, we want to start off by thanking God for the new things that he's doing for us in our new year, our new theme. This is the year of fixed purpose. And what is the purpose and prize? To keep our eye on the Word of God, because when we focus on the Word, it will allow us to ignore daily distractions. And that's all the enemy's trying to do, is get you off the Word. Hey man, it's a great day. The weather's great. We've got a little break in the weather. We got it at 97 degrees hot here in the DMV. A little bit of breeze. Tom the Bomb had to do some yard work and didn't have to work out when you're out in that heat. Hey, listen, I got trivia and I got a poll question for you guys today. So, man, let's get right into it. Listen, so let's start off with our trivia question. Our trivia question is, Jackie Robinson broke the Major League color barrier in 1947 with the Brooklyn Dodgers in the National League. So, our trivia question today is, who was the first black player to break the color barrier in the American League? Okay, who was the first black player to break the color barrier in the American League? All righty. Hey, let's get to our poll question. Let's get our poll question up. Okay, so our poll question, let me tell you where this poll question comes from. You know, it's a couple of groups that Tom the Bomb belongs in, and, you know, we do things like trivia and poll questions. So this question came up, and I just wanted to share it on the show because we have a tendency to have such recency bias. And it's just like, it's just absolutely ridiculous for people who might be under the age of 40. It's like, come on now, you got to have some kind of historic fact. So let's get to the poll question. So the poll question, here's the poll question. This is how it was proposed. The 2024 Boston Celtics would sweep the 1985-86 Boston Celtics. So that's this year's championship team. The 2024 Boston Celtics would sweep Larry Bird, Robert Parrish, McHale, Dennis Johnson, Danny Ainge, Bill Walton, would sweep them. That was the poll question. So look, man, you guys chime in and let us know what's going on, man. Because, man, this is the definition of recency bias. I mean, you got to be kidding me. Man, don't you know that Robert Parrish, McHale, and Larry Bird is the greatest front line in the history of NBA basketball? And the guys were saying like, yeah. But the 2024 Boston Celtics, everybody on their team can shoot threes, including the center Horford. All of them can shoot threes. Look, man, don't you guys know for about 5 or 6 years straight that Larry Bird led the NBA in three-point shooting? And then the defense that those guys played, I don't think they'd be able to get those shots off. So that's our poll question for today. I mean, it actually was stated that the 2024 Celtics would sweep the 1985-1986 Celtics. Now, you guys know Tom the Bomb is not a Boston fan of anything, including the Boston Celtics. But, man, if you saw the 85-86 Boston Celtics play, you saw the San Antonio Spurs play in their heyday. You saw the Golden State Warriors play in their heyday. Nobody did it better. Nobody did it better. That's our poll question for today. Hey, gang, what are we watching tonight? You guys know what we're watching. It's the best 2 words in sports. Game 7 at 8 p.m. Eastern on ABC/ESPN. The Edmonton Oilers have completed their goal of dragging the cat back to Florida as they take on the Florida Panthers for Game 7. You know what, man? Look. Let's not even waste no time, man. Let's jump right into the 2024 Lord Stanley Cup Finals. The Edmonton Oilers versus the Florida Panthers. Like I said, the best 2 words in sports. Game 7. Hey, man, the Edmonton Oilers defeated the Panthers to force a winner-take-all, and like I said, drag the cat back to Florida for Game 7. If the Oilers can win, it would be only the second time in NHL history to come back from a 3-0 deficit to win a championship. The Edmonton Oilers defeated the Florida Panthers 5-1 in Game 6 on Friday to force this winner-take-all Game 7 for the Stanley Cup tonight at 8 p.m. on ESPN /ABC and ESPN. The Panthers' 3rd straight loss sets up what could be an epic Stanley Cup collapse. Only one team in NHL history has ever overcome a 3-0 deficit to win the championship. Now, Game 6 was a far cry from Florida's first 3 wins in those early days of the series when everybody just knew it was a lock. It was going to be a sweep. When the Panthers scored 11 goals combined. The Panthers better go back to being super aggressive and that suffocating style of play that put them up 3-0. The team that executes their game plan tonight is the team that's going to win. On Friday, Edmonton kept the Panthers scoreless until early in the 3rd period. Edmonton goalie Stu Skinner fended off a late efforts by Florida. Skinner had 19 saves on the night. 19 saves. Man, the Stanley Cup, man, the Stanley Cup, it's just like Major League Baseball World Series. Man, if you get a hot ace, if you get a hot pitcher, I think back to when the Arizona Diamondbacks beat the heavily favored New York Yankees in the World Series. They did it with 2 stud ace pitchers. Well, in hockey, it's the hot goalie. And all of a sudden, Stu Skinner seems to have found it. Like I said, had 19 saves on the night. 82 years ago, the Toronto Maple Leafs came back from a 3-0 deficit over the Detroit Red Wings to win the series and the Stanley Cup championship. Now, it's been 31 years since Canada has won a Stanley Cup. The 1990, hockey is king in Canada. The 1992-1993 Montreal Canadiens is the last team to win from Canada. And like I said, hockey is king in Canada. The Edmonton Oilers, like I said, dragged the cat back to Florida. That was the cry, and they got it done. Now we got to talk about Connor McDavid. Connor McDavid continues his best Wayne Gretzky imitation, putting the Panthers in the McBlender. He's had 11 points in the final, and check this out, 8 in the elimination games. So games 4, 5, and 6, which were all elimination games, he came up with 8 points. He's got the 4th most points in a postseason, 42, trailing. Listen who he's trailing. Trailing only the great one, Wayne Gretzky, and Mario Lemieux by just 2 points. Listen, it don't get much bigger than Wayne Gretzky and Mario Lemieux. If Connor McDavid pulls this off, if he pulls this off tonight, this comeback, it basically locks him up in the Hall of Fame. And it gives him the opportunity, because he's still a pretty young guy, it gives him a chance. Give him a chance, honey. Give him a chance. It gives him a chance to actually put his name at the top of the list. And you know, it's sacrilegious to think that there's going to be a better hockey player than Wayne Gretzky. That's like saying there's going to be a better basketball player than Michael Jordan. Not. But if he pulls this off, because he's still pretty young, he can build a resume that by the time he finishes, not only will he be in the Hall of Fame, but he may be the best hockey player to ever play. His leadership, the way he put this team on the back. And what I really love is when they were down 3-0, that's when he spoke up. He was like, okay, all right, it's time for us to play now. And that's when they came up with the rallying cry, let's drag the cat back to Florida. And they have accomplished that for an epic Game 7 tonight. A lot of people feel like that this could be the most important game in the history of hockey. And you might think that's hyperbole, but I don't know when you think about it, because like I said, it hasn't been done in 82 years. The other thing is you've got the biggest star in hockey leading this charge. And in sports, it's so important that your top guy, that your top superstar be in your championship games. You got to have a LeBron in there. You got to have that top guy. You got to have Patrick Mahomes in that game. We got to get Shohei Ohtani into a big game because he's such a great player, possibly the greatest player since the Say Hey Kid Willie Mays. Don't get ahead of yourself, Tom the Bomb. We coming to Willie. But you got to get that superstar in that championship game. So to have Connor McDavid in the Stanley Cup Finals, down 0-3, comes back and win 3 in a row, and now force a Game 7, it may not be hyperbole. It could be the biggest game in the history of the NHL. The Oilers force a Game 7, imitating the 2004 Red Sox. Now, this is, when you think about this, if they pull this off, you can think about some of the greatest sports comebacks of all time. And just off the top of my head, the 2004 Red Sox comeback, it's really a sore spot for me. Not that I'm a Red Sox or a Yankees fan, but I grew up in East St. Louis, so that automatically makes me a Cardinal fan. But my big brother Phil, Pee Wee, he's a Yankee fan. And I used to ask him, dude, we grew up, excuse me, we grew up 3 miles from Busch Stadium. We could see the arch out of our window every single day. How are you a Yankees fan? I used to ask him. He said, I just like them, man. They professional. And in 2004, the New York Yankees were up 3-0 on the 2004 Boston Red Sox. And the Red Sox came back and won Game 4. And then they came back and they won Game 5. And they came back and they won Game 6. And man, and Phil used to, the announcer for the Yankees when the Yankees win, you guys know, he would say, the Yankees win, Yankees win. I was just saying, the Yankees win, Yankees win. So, Tom the Bomb don't ever, not ever, did I say ever root for anything out of Boston? But Tom the Bomb was rooting for the Red Sox that night because I just wanted to call Phil up and say, the Yankees lose, Yankees lose. And so, like we used to do, we used to call each other while the game was going on. So we're watching Game 7, and we're calling back and forth on the phone. And and if you remember Game 7, the Red Sox opened up a can on the Yankees. I mean, they busted it wide open on the Yankees in Game 7. And I was calling Phil, just waiting for that opportunity to say, the Yankees lose, Yankees lose. And he says, the last time we spoke, he says, call me back at the end of the game. So the game ended, and the Red Sox won. And I called back, and his daughter answered the phone, and she was crying, and I was like, what's wrong? And she says, Daddy's sick, Daddy's sick. And my big brother had a heart attack and died that night. And so it's something that like really sits with me. It's something that I'll never forget. The last time we spoke, it was poignant, it was fun, because we was doing what we do. We enjoyed sports, we enjoyed jabbing at each other, and I didn't get to say to him, the Yankees lose, because he checked out on me. But, it does my heart good to know that we will be together forever. That's why you have to come into the saving knowledge of the truth, because you don't want your worst enemy to go to hell. All you got to do is confess it with your mouth and believe it in your heart that Jesus died on the cross and that he rose on the third day, not a Thursday, just for you. And the word says that you will be saved. So I was thinking about that big comeback. There's a lot of major comebacks. Like I said, the Detroit Red Wings blew this in hockey. You can think about the Houston Oilers blowing the biggest lead in NFL in a playoff game. You can think about Tom Brady coming back from 28-3 in the Super Bowl. You can think about LeBron James coming back being down 3-1 to my Golden State Warriors. It makes you think about all those really, really great comeback games. So, like I said, this game tonight is really, really lining up. And it should be a really, really good game, and you don't want to miss it. I'm trying not to get emotional because I love Phil. I love my big brother. We had great times together, and I can still always think back on that fondly because we had a really, really good time together, and I really, really enjoyed being his little brother. So that's what we're watching tonight. It's Game 7, the best two words in sports. Game 7. Like I said, the team that, because it's a really, really big game, but when you get in big pressure games like the Super Bowl or the World Series or the Stanley Cup Final, it's the team that executes their game plan. So you gotta get past the point that it's Game 7, that it's the championship, that it's the Super Bowl, that it's the World Series, and you just gotta concentrate and execute your game plan. And you watch tonight because, man, the Florida Panthers looked unbeatable in the first 3 games. But if you watch the last 3 games, woo, man, the Edmonton Oilers have cut it loose. Like I said, Stu Skinner's gotten hot. So it's going to be the team that can execute its game plan, that can keep its pulse at a normal level and perform under the pressure. See the ball, hit the ball. See the ball, catch the ball. See the ball, put it in the hole. See the puck, put it in the net. Check your man. Play defense. Get back. Like I said, the Panthers got to get back to that suffocating defense. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be exciting. That's what we're watching tonight. Game 7, the Edmonton Oilers versus the Florida Panthers in Game 7. Hey, let's move on to our next topic. We're going to be talking about, we're getting back to golf. Scotty Scheffler wins again. Scotty Scheffler wins again. Scotty Scheffler wins his 6th tournament. He had to survive a playoff and a wave of protesters at the 18th green at the TPC River Highlands. Troy and I used to love that TPC River Highlands course we used to play on Tiger Woods, PGA Golf. You remember that, Troy? Scotty put his brutal week at the Pinehurst #2 at the U.S. Open behind him in the best way possible, coming back for his 6th victory. Scheffler beat Tom Kim in a one-hole playoff. He posted a final round 66 to finish at 22 under par. Remember we talked about at that final round, it's not just a walk in the park. You can't shoot even par or over par unless it's the U.S. Open and expect to win on Sunday. He came back and fired a 66 to finish 22 under par. Scheffler is now the first player to have 6 wins in a season before July since the great Arnold Palmer did it in 1962. I think Palmer did it in 61 and 62 or 62 and 63. I can't remember, but he did it like that. But listen, Scotty Scheffler, for winning the Travelers Championship, he gets a first place check of $3.6 million. Now check this out. In 2024, in just this year, Scotty Scheffler has made $27,696,858, almost $28 million before July. Now, this is what I really want to tell you. Ted Scott, I was like, who is Ted Scott? Ted Scott is Scotty Scheffler's caddy. Ted Scott, Scotty Scheffler's caddy, has made more money, check this out, than 80% of the PGA Tour players on tour in 2024. What did you say, Tom the Bomb? The caddy has made more than 80% of the professional golfers on the tour just from caddying because Scotty Scheffler has won that much money. Ted Scott, the caddy, has made $2,633,000 carrying the bag. Carrying the bag. $2,600,000 from just carrying the bag. Listen, man, I'll take that job. How many of you guys can carry a golf bag for 4 days? Check this out. Ted Scott, Scotty Scheffler's caddy, has made more money than Jordan Spieth. He's made more money than Adam Scott. He's made more money than Ricky Fowler. If Ted Scott was on tour, he'd be the 45th player on the money list on the PGA Tour, and he's a caddy. All right, say it with me. Get your kids out playing golf. Get your kids out playing golf. Listen, caddies, they're good. All the caddies, they're good golfers themselves. You know, you're not going to be a professional caddy and you don't know nothing about golf as well. So, man, get your kids out playing golf. It's just like, hey, I want to be a movie star. It's great to be a movie star, but don't you know the guy behind the camera, the guy directing, the guy producing, he's making big dough too, man. Well, it's not just the professional golfers. Ted Scott, carrying the bag, has made $2.6 million and has made more than 80% of the PGA Tour players on tour. That's amazing. That's amazing. Hey, Tom Kim fired an opening round 62, 8 under par on Thursday, and that couldn't get him across the finish line. 8 under par, 62 in the opening round, and that didn't get him across the finish line. So, look, Tom Kim won't be taking home the first place trophy, but he will be taking home a second place check for $2.16 million. Get your kids out playing golf. Get your kids out playing golf. Second place check, $2.16 million for second place. Now, this tournament was something else. Let's talk about Cam Young. Cameron Young fires a 59. What you say, Tom the Bomb? Cameron Young fires a 13 under par, 59. He becomes the 12th man to shoot a 59 in a PGA Tour event. 59. Playing in hardly any wind conditions, and of course softened by the rain that fell Friday evening, allowed Cam to start by going 5 under par through his first 4 holes en route to a front 9 28. Then he birdied 13, and then he eagled the par 4 15th hole. He knocked it in the hole on his second shot on a par 4. And then he stuffed the 9-iron to 5 feet to set up a final birdie on the 17th hole, coming off, you know, we always talk about this in golf, that when you go low one day, it's hard to go low the next day. Well, the day before, Cameron Young had shot a 66. That's a fantastic round of golf, a 66. And then he came back the next day and shot 59 in the second round. So after a 66 and a 59, he wasn't even in the lead. Nat Wood, how you gonna shoot a 66 and a 59 and not be in first place? Man, they was throwing darts at the Travelers. Man, if you give the pros no wind and soft conditions, they're literally gonna be throwing darts. You know, you guys have played darts before. You know how you throw the dart and it hit the board. That's what they can do with their golf ball. If there's no wind and it's soft conditions, they're literally firing darts. Come on, man. I just told you this guy made a 2 on a par 4. they literally throwing darts. I was playing last week with my buddies, and we was talking about the pros. And there's a story about Ben Hogan. He was talking with his caddy, and he asked his caddy how far we got, and his caddy said, "Oh, it's about 128 or 129." And Ben Hogan snapped at him and said, "Is it 128 or is it 129? Make up your mind," because he can hit the ball exactly 128 yards, and he can hit the ball exactly 129 yards. He just needs to know which one it is. And he was like, "Man, those guys can't play that well." I said, "Are you kidding me? That's why they get PRO in front of their names." Now, Tom the Bomb can't do that, but those guys on tour, they can do that. That's how Cameron Young can shoot a 59 and a 66 and still not be in the lead. How did Tom Kim lose this? How did Tom Kim lose this round? Man, it really was good. It was really something to see. It's funny because just the week before, the PGA Tour was at the U.S. Open in Pinehurst #2, and that golf course beat them pros' brains out. So, and I just want to, I watched Scotty Scheffler, and we talked about how Scotty Scheffler has won 6 times before July. If you put Scotty Scheffler on a regular golf course during the regular tour season, can't nobody beat him. But if you put him on a Pinehurst, a U.S. Open, if you put him on one of those major tracks, then you got a chance to get him. But just a regular setup golf course, they can't handle Scotty Scheffler. That's why he had such a bad week at the U.S. Open at Pinehurst #2. But hey, dude, he came back the very next week and won first place, $3.6 million, and has almost won $28 million. One more time for the record. Get your kids out playing golf. Get your kids out playing golf. Hey, gang, we're going to take a break, and then we're coming right back. We got some other stuff we want to cover, so let's take a break. Let's pay the bills, and we'll be right back.
When it comes to cost and quality, you simply cannot do better than Window Nation. For about half the cost of national brands, you get equal if not better quality, saving you thousands of dollars. Right now, get 2 free windows with every 2 you buy. There's no limit. Plus, put no money down, make no payments, and pay no interest for 24 months. Get a free in-home estimate and we'll give you a free gas card. Go to windownation.com for additional details or call 866-95-NATION.
Sheltered by the Sea of Cortez, Danzante Bay is a pure and peaceful oasis, an uncrowded retreat where your options are as vast as your views. If you're seeking a vacation that defines luxury and the true relaxation, look no further than Villa del Palmar at the Islands of Loreto. A splendor of true Mexican hospitality effortlessly blends with rich materials and insatiable comforts to bring guests the ideal home away from home experience. With its quiet beaches, scenic vistas, rich history, and an astounding surrounding natural habitat, you'll feel as though you've been swept off to paradise. Not to be outdone, Reese Jones has crafted TPC Danzante Bay, a brilliant, multi-themed 18-hole golf course that runs over and through valleys, arroyos, dunes, and foothills. From every angle, striking images of the islands of Loreto and the surrounding mountain range take your breath away, while the challenging yet rewarding Baja Golf Course beckons you to return for more. It is an honor and my pleasure to welcome you to the world's most beautiful sunset and so much more.
Talking Windows with Harley and Aaron and special guest Mina.
As a business owner, I only partner with the best.
That's definitely Window Nation.
And experience matters, Harley.
Well, Mina, we have installed over 1 million windows.
And you guys have the best customer service.
Check. 97% customer satisfaction. Plus the best deals.
Now, buy 2 windows, get 2 free with no limit. Plus, put no money down, make no payments, and pay no interest for 24 months.
That's why I'm proud to partner with Window Nation.
The perfect fit.
And we're back. Hey, Major League Baseball's Rick Wood Field tribute to the Negro Leagues and the Say Hey Kid, Willie Mays. Man, it was a great event in the game. Listen, the Rick Wood Field is the oldest professional ballpark in the United States. Hosted a Major League Baseball game between my St. Louis Cardinals and the San Francisco Giants last Thursday night. The stadium opened in 1910. It's located in Birmingham, Alabama, and is on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places. It was the host for the Negro League's Birmingham Black Barons, as well as the minor league Birmingham Barons and the Birmingham A's. Also, the Philadelphia Phillies and the Pittsburgh Pirates used the ballpark as a spring training site in the early 1900s. It wasn't unusual for Hall of Famers like Ty Cobb, Honus Wagner, and Babe Ruth to come by to Rick Wood Field. Many of the fans got to see the Negro League stars, though. Greats like Josh Gibson, Satchel Paige, Buck O'Neil, Cool Papa Bell, and a 17-year-old phenom by the name of Willie Mays, to name just a few. One of the things they did, it was a historic night from the get-go. Number one, it was the first time in the history of Major League Baseball that they had a complete black umpiring crew. And that's historic, to have an all-black umpiring crew. So that's the first time. We want to give a shout out to that. Hey man, Major League Baseball they're trying. They're trying to get there. So this was an historic night all the way through. And as they were honoring the Negro Leagues and Willie Mays and Pastor Bill Greason, they decided to go all out and say, hey, let's do something we haven't done before, and let's get an all-black umpiring crew with Alan Porter, Adrian Johnson, Malak Moore, C.B. Buckner, second worst umpire in the major leagues, and Jeremy Remick. So it was awesome to see. It was really, really something to see. Great historic night at the ballpark. As like I said, they paid tribute to teammates Willie Mays and Pastor Bill Greason, who both played for the Birmingham Black Barons of the Negro Leagues. Of course, Willie Mays broke in with the New York Giants, and then they moved to San Francisco. And Pastor Reverend William Bill Greason was the first black pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals. And the ceremonies were fantastic. The pregame was fantastic. The singing before the game, I mean, they really put on a show. And of course, as you would imagine, they talked to a lot of the living Negro, and to my surprise, they still had quite a few of the Negro League players that are still alive. Some of them, they had to walk out on wheelchairs and walkers, and some of them came out on their own. Some of them were dancing, but it was really something to see. But Bill Greason, Pastor Bill Greason, who is an impressive individual, World War II hero in Iwo Jima. He played for the Birmingham Barons and was the first black pitcher in the history of the St. Louis Cardinals. Like I said, they spoke to a lot of them, but he threw out the first pitch also. But he talked about his experience with the St. Louis Cardinals. And hey, man, I'm a Cardinal fan, but I'm gonna tell you, they still not doing it right. But he talked about when he played with the Cardinals, that his teammates hardly would even talk with him or have anything to do with him. But it was interesting for me watching all of this, that the Negro League stars, for them, it was just how it was. And they wanted to play baseball. And they were going to do whatever they needed to do so they could play baseball. They weren't going to let all the insults and all the racism that happened their way to stop them from playing baseball, because they just loved the game and they just wanted to play. So when they spoke to them, they were very diplomatic. They said, what I like to say, they gave the they gave the yearbook answer. Okay, they were very politically correct in their comments, and I think them coming up in that era, they just handled it really, really well. So let's talk about the elephant in the room, because at some point they got around to talking to Reggie Jackson, and Reggie Jackson comments have been banned from Facebook. I posted something that Reggie Jackson said, and man, they banned me on Facebook. Reggie said the racism when I played here, the difficulty of going through the different places where we traveled, I wouldn't wish it on anybody. And Reggie just laid it bare. And this is not something new, because I can remember Reggie Jackson talking about after getting drafted into the pros, he got some money, he bought him a brand new convertible. How he was driving through Birmingham, he would make sure that he had to go, whatever the speed limit was, he said he had to go 15 to 20 miles below the speed limit just to make sure that he wouldn't get stopped. And what really, really stuck with me from listening to him, I mean, man, this was 50, 60 years ago, but you could still see the emotional hurt that he was experiencing just from talking about it, and the things that these guys went through, the doors that they knocked down, that the players today walk through, that I think sometimes they just kind of take it for granted. And like I said, Major League Baseball has a great lack of diversity, but they are trying. I give them credit for trying, but with this Rick Wood Major League game honoring the Negro, I don't think they should be busting their back, patting themselves on the back, because it's still a whole lot to do in Major League Baseball. One step in the right direction, we didn't have a chance to talk about this on the Tom the Bomb show, is that the Major League Baseball has included the Negro League statistics with the Major League statistics. Hey, they were professional players, it got included. So for years and years and years, for all of baseball, Ty Cobb had the highest batting average of all time. Well, once they included the Negro League statistics, Josh Gibson knocked Ty Cobb out of that. Josh Gibson knocked out a lot of guys because his statistics were just that great. So when you look at the Major League Baseball records now, they look a little bit different. Now, what'll be interesting to see, because what's an official stat and what's not an official stat, if you look at Satchel Paige's stats, it'll blow your mind. I think last week we talked about that Wilt Chamberlain still has 72 records in the NBA record books. If you look at the records of Satchel Paige, it's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. They say that Satchel Paige had 55 no-hitters. Now, the Major League record is 7 for Nolan Ryan. They say Satchel Paige had 55 no-hitters. You say, well, that's the Major Leagues versus the Negro Leagues. Well, there was segregation back then, but every year they would have what they call the real All-Star game, where the white All-Stars would play the Negro League All-Stars, and the Negro League's All-Stars won that game almost all the time. And they were playing against the best players, some of the best players, Hall of Fame players in the history of Major League Baseball. So even though it was a separate league, the Negro Leagues was just as good, if not better, than the Major Leagues. Now, I always find this interesting because, when we talk about in our poll question today, in 1947, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier to become the first Negro ball player to play for the Brooklyn Dodgers in 1947. Well, after 1947, Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, the Negro League ended in 1948. And, Jackie Robinson got into the major leagues. Satchel Paige got into the major leagues. Some other guys got into the major leagues. I won't mention their name because it might be the answer to our poll, our trivia question for today. But my point being is that a year after Jackie Robinson broke the color barrier, a vibrant black-owned business the very next year went out of business. Now, these guys in the Negro Leagues were fantastic baseball players, but they all didn't make it to the major leagues. So it went from being a vibrant black-owned business to being out of business. Racism is a real thing in America, but one of the things that fuels racism is economics. And segregation is a good thing in its place, but segregation, I believe, hurt people just as much as it helped people, because all of those black-owned businesses, what happened to them? I mean, come on. I mean, the Negro Leagues went out of business because of a few black players came into the major leagues. They got rid of the whole league. So it's something to think about, something that just makes you go, So, we want to congratulate Major League Baseball for finally making it happen. It was interesting to watch the games. The people were like, well, we're just happy that they're finally recognizing us and that they're finally doing something like this. But man, there's been a lot of wrongs. I hear Precious saying, I can hear Precious saying reparations. I hear you, Precious. But it was a beautiful thing. My St. Louis Cardinals won the game. That was important for me, But it was a great evening of baseball. The late great Willie Mays passed last Tuesday, and he was supposed to be at this game, but like I said, he passed on Tuesday. And Willie Mays is considered the greatest baseball player to ever live. And up until I saw Shohei Ohtani, I would tell anybody that Willie Mays was the greatest baseball player to ever live. But what Shohei Ohtani is doing now, slugging and pitching, we ain't never seen that before. We ain't never seen anybody do what this guy is doing. But, when you talk about a 5'2" player, Willie Mays was the definition of a 5'2" player. He hit for average, he hit for power, he could run, he could throw, and he could catch. He could play defense. He was a 5'2" superstar, and nobody put the package together better than him. If you want to look at some major league stats, look at Hank Aaron's stats. Hank Aaron's stats will blow your mind. And Hank Aaron says Willie Mays is the greatest baseball player to ever live. And you know what? I'm going to believe what Henry Aaron says, that Willie Mays was the greatest baseball player that ever lived. But now, it beckons call, who's the greatest living player? That's what Joe DiMaggio went on for a long time. Who's the greatest living player? And you guys know I'm a St. Louis Cardinal fan. I think it's Albert Pujols. But hey, that's up for another poll question and another discussion. But it was a great evening of baseball. It was historic for a seam head like myself. It was really, really, really great to see. Major League Baseball did a really, really good job of putting on a great production. Everything, man. The music was fabulous. The anthems were Andra, I think it's Andra Gray. Man, that girl can sing. Man, it was really beautiful. It was great festivities, and if you missed it, you want to catch that on a replay. But hey, Reggie laid down the law, man. And man, it just goes to show you, man, emotions can bring you back. Something that happened 30, 40, 50 years, the emotions can bring you back immediately like it's just happened. And, Reggie's quite a macho guy. His whole life that I've known of Reggie Jackson, he's been a really, really macho guy. And to see just talking about that, how it disturbed him, how it bothered him, how it moved him emotionally, man, people will always remember how you made them feel. That's at Victory we've been talking about evangelism, and all evangelism, to go get them. All evangelism is showing the love of God. That's all it is, and people will always remember how you made them feel. That's what's important. And it was interesting because on a great night of celebration, Reggie Jackson just remembered how those people in Birmingham made him feel, and it wasn't very nice. It wasn't very nice. So we still got a long way to go, but it was a great evening of baseball. Hey, let's wrap up the show. Let's talk a little NBA basketball. We got to talk about this. Nat Wood, LA Fakers have their man. The LA Fakers have their man. The LA Lakers hired J.J. Redick. I had somebody earlier today say, J.J. who? I was like, I know who he is, but who is he? and let me just say this up front. I think JJ can do a good job because, number one, he's very intelligent. He knows the game. In his professional career, he's been meticulous. I like what Magic Johnson said. Magic Johnson said that if he coaches the way he played and prepared as a player, he's going to be fine. And I tend to agree with that. I'm going to agree with Magic also, okay? I think he's got an opportunity to do a really, really good job. But more importantly than what J.J. Redick is going to bring to the table, the Lakers still got to upgrade that roster. Nat Wood, your Fakers got to upgrade that roster. I don't care who you bring in to coach, you got to upgrade that roster. Now, you know, JJ was doing a podcast with LeBron James. So, you know, a lot of people feel like that this is LeBron's hire. You know, for a while I've been saying, hey, why don't the Lakers just make LeBron James the coach? Well, I found out that now that they don't allow players to be the coach. They used to because, you know, we know that Bill Russell did it, okay, a while back. But I think they changed the rules where they don't allow a current player to be the head coach at the same time. So maybe that's why they couldn't turn it over to LeBron officially. But we all know unofficially that LeBron is the coach of that team, which is one of the reasons I think J.J. Redick got that job. But, you know, here's the thing. You know, we've seen this before where some NBA players that have no previous coaching experience, like Steve Nash, get jobs like this. And the Lakers' head coaching job is always, you know, anything in LA that's going to be attractive. But you still have guys like Mark Jackson out there who can't find a job. How long is it going to be before LeBron and AD throw J.J. Redick under the bus? And why aren't NBA teams passing on Sam Cassell? So, somebody got to explain this to me, man. Sam Cassell is an NBA champion. He's got NBA rings. He's been an assistant coach for over 15 years. Got 4 NBA championships. He's an NBA All-Star. He's been an All-NBA player. And J.J. Redick's resume checks none of those things off the list. He started a podcast with LeBron James, and now he's the head coach of the Lakers. What's up with that? What's wrong with that picture? And then you got Monty Williams, who after a year got fired in Detroit. But hey, man, it's Detroit, man. Come on, what do you expect? The only job worse than Detroit is the Washington Wizards. Sorry, Felix. That's the only job that's worse than Detroit is the Washington Wizards. So you know you're gonna bring Monty to Detroit, and after a year expect him to turn that wreck around. But you know when Monty got fired, man, you know when they didn't get the kid from UConn to come in and get the coaching job, and like I said, that was just a ploy to get his salary up at UConn. That guy was never coming to coach the Lakers, man. That guy way too smart to do that. But you pass on a guy like Sam Cassell, Mark Jackson, Monty Williams, you know, guys with real NBA experience, and they ain't getting no love. Where's the love? There's no love for Sam Cassell, man. Sam Cassell's been a good guy too. He's kept his nose clean. He's been a great NBA player. He's done it the right way. But look, man, when you have guys like Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who could possibly be considered the GOAT, one of the greatest players in the history of the NBA, and you won't give Kareem Abdul-Jabbar a head coaching job. You won't give Sam Cassell a head coaching job. You won't give Mark Jackson another coaching shot with all these retreads. It just kind of makes you scratch your head and say, man, what's going on in the NBA, man? And, you know, the NBA has been, you know, kind of liberal, you know, but, you know, they've rubbed some people the wrong way because I don't understand the Sam Cassell thing, you know. I like J.J. Redick. I think J.J. Redick is going to do a good job for the Lakers. I think Sam Cassell would have done a better job. And, you know, I had some people tell me, well, they weren't going to hire Sam Cassell because Sam Cassell has a backbone. Sam Cassell knows what he's doing. Sam Cassell is actually going to coach and try to run the team. And that's one of the reasons Lebanon and AD threw the previous coach under the bus, man, because Lebanon still wants to be in charge. And at some point, he's going to have to take some responsibility. Now, what's going to be interesting is we got the NBA draft coming up. And let's see if Nat Wood LA Fakers don't take Bronny James and add him to their team. You know, I just want to get this out here on the record. You know, Tom the Bomb has no experience, but Tom the Bomb will accept that coaching job. He'll take that money, and I'll happily get fired after the first year and take all that money with me. Tom the Bomb, Tom the Bomb will sign up for that right now. Coy, will you go with me and be my assistant, Coy? I'll make sure you get a good salary too, Coy. Let's tell the boss. Let's tell Lionel right now that we're both leaving WBGR for the brighter stage of the NBA. Listen, we'll even take the job in Washington. Hey, Coy, that way we don't have to drive that far. Come on, man. Look, I got a podcast like JJ Redick. Come, give me some of that money, man. Coy has no experience. It don't matter. Hey, they pay the weatherman, and he wrong half the time, too. Hey, man, that's our show for the day, man. Hey, man, let's get to our trivia question, man. All right, our trivia question. Let's get back to our trivia question. Our trivia question is, Jackie Robinson broke the Major League color barrier in 1947 with the Brooklyn Dodgers in the National League. So the question is, who was the first black player to break the color barrier in the American League? Let me check social media and see if we got any seam heads out there that can get me an answer on this in the next 30 seconds. If not, Tom the Bomb going to give you the answer before we go off the air. But hey, man, that's our show for today. Let's go ahead and wrap it up. Hey, again, I just want to mention to you guys, hey, gang, Tom the Bomb is now on YouTube. Just put Tom the Bomb Sports Talk in the search bar, and the show will pop up. And don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Tom the Bomb will appreciate it greatly, okay? Tom the Bomb will appreciate it greatly. And yes, Coy and I are up for that Washington Wizards job. Yes, we will take that. We'll make it a threesome. I'll hire Felix as well, you know. Felix on vacation having fun, y'all. All righty, so let's get to our trivia question. The answer to the trivia question is, who was the first black player to break the color barrier in the American League? The answer is Larry Doby. Larry Doby was the first player to break the color barrier in the American League. It happened a few weeks right after Jackie Robinson joined the Brooklyn Dodgers. Okay, so hey, man, that's it for tonight, guys. We're watching Game 7 of the Stanley Cup. It's going to be exciting. You guys, for you all that may not even watch hockey, this is a game that you don't want to miss, all righty? Hey, for dynamic, in-depth analysis and highlights of the Washington football team and DC Sports and more, check out the Washington Sports Den on Thursdays at 2 p.m. on WBGR with my main man, Felix Bassey. Future so bright, he got to wear shades. Hey, man, time flies when you're having fun. We're out of time here, but we sure do thank you for spending your time with us. Listen, may the gates of heaven open and pour an abundance of blessings down on you that there won't be room enough to contain it. Remember, if you want it, you got to confess it with your mouth and believe it in your heart that Jesus died on the cross and that he rose on the third day, not a Thursday, just for you. Remember, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. And hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. God bless you. We'll see you on this same bat time, on this same bat station. You guys have a blessed evening. Thank you for watching. Don't remember, you can catch Tom the Bomb on YouTube now. Hit that subscribe button. Good night.
I'm about to blow up. I'm the bomb and about to blow up. Whoa. knowledge, and even if I'm cold, I ain't chasing nothing, you gon' have to catch me. And if you wanna taste, you gon' have to pay a fee. I'm the bomb and about to blow up. I'm the bomb and about to blow up.